Good day. Let us continue the chapter Electoral Politics, the second video. As I said, the second video consists of what makes the election in India democratic. What makes an election democratic? We are all aware during election process, many political parties, they adopt unfair practices to get votes. They play dirty tricks in order to win vote. So no political party can win an election through unfair practices. As we are all aware, India has a democratic election system, and the election system in India is controlled and governed by an independent and very powerful body called the Election Commission, EC, the Election Commission. The Election Commission is headed by the Chief Election Commissioner, and he is assisted by two other election commissioners. You must remember that election commissioner is appointed by the President of India for a term of 6 years, and the present election commissioner, the chief election commissioner, is Sunil Arora. And the two other election commissioners who assist Sunil Arora is Rajiv Kumar and Sushil Chandra. These are the two commissioners who assist our chief election commissioner, that is Sunil Arora. Now let us go in detail with respect to the powers of election commission. As I said, this is a very important independent body. EC takes decisions on every aspect of conduct and control of elections, from the announcement of election to the declaration of results, from the announcement of elections till the declaration of result. The decision is taken by the election commissioners, and it is he who implements the code of conduct and punishes any candidate or party that violates the rules and regulations of election. During the election period, the election commissioner can order the government to follow some guidelines to prevent the use and misuse of governmental power, to enhance its chances to win elections. So all these guidelines are updated by election commissioners, and it is the responsibility of the government officials to follow accordingly during the election period. And when on election duty, the government officers work under the control of election commissioner and not the government. Whichever officers who gets the election duty at that particular moment, the period of election time, they are working under the election commission, not under the government. So this powerful is this independent body, the election commissioner. Then let us go into the popular participation. That is another way to check the quality of the election, is to see whether people participate in it with enthusiasm. So how is this possible? how can we check the quality of the election? One is through people's participation in election is usually measured by voter turnout figures. That is, turnout indicates the percent of eligible voters who actually cast their vote. It is who the eligible candidates who actually cast their vote. Then we also are aware in India mostly the poor, the illiterate and the underprivileged people vote in larger proportion as compared to the rich and the privileged sections. Then we have the common people in India attach lot of importance to elections. So from all these we understand that it is who give more priority or who give more importance to election. So that is popular participation. Then we must understand the outcomes of India's election. How is it possible? That is, one final test of the free and fairness of election has the outcome itself. The ruling parties routinely lose elections in India, both at the national and state level. Then in India, about half of the sitting MPs or MLAs, they lose elections. Then what is the other outcome? Candidates who are known to have spent a lot of money on buying votes and those with known for criminal connections often lose elections. Then, barring very few disputed elections, the electoral outcomes are usually accepted as people's verdict by the defeated party. So these are the outcomes of India's elections. Then we have lot of challenges to free and fair elections in India. We are facing lot of challenges to free and fair election. Let's find out what are the challenges our country is for free and fair election. Number one, candidates and parties with lot of money may not be sure of their victory, but they do enjoy a big and unfair advantage over smaller parties and independents. That is, candidates and parties with lot of money may not win the election, but they have a fair chance of advantage. How they throw away or they over the smaller parties and the independent parties. Then in some parts of the country, candidates with criminal connections have been able to push others out of the electoral race and to secure ticket from major parties. That is, they use the money, the muscle, money and muscle power, and they were able to push the other out of the electoral race, and they were able to get the ticket from the major parties. Then we also understand the other challenge, like some families, they tend to dominate political parties. Tickets are distributed to relatives from these families. So these are the other thing. The certain families, they give importance. They get the tickets, and what happens? What they do is even they distribute the tickets to their family members. That is one of the important challenge the present political parties or during the election we are facing. Then the fourth one is, very often elections offer little choice to ordinary citizens. For both the major parties are quite similar to each other, both in policies and practice. They might be people who want to serve the people or serve the nation, but these ordinary citizens, they are not able to get the ticket. Mostly the main leaders, the important leaders, they get the advantage of standing as a candidate. Then the next one is smaller parties and independent candidates suffer a huge disadvantage compared to the bigger parties. That's what I said. So these are some of the challenges, to free and fair elections in India. I hope you have understood what is election, the different processes of election in India. Thank you.